got to get a hold of them, though. If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them. And that's what we got to be. That's who we have to be. Because that's our domain. That is our domain. Because we'll tread water as long as it takes to fucking bury you.
Good evening and welcome to Nothing But the Smoke. I am your host, Brian Bstrilla, the Thriller. Next to me is Uncle Rumble. To my bottom is Marisa Tigney. She is from Her Dad with Marisa. She was on the sports rap radio show before it went defunct, unfortunately. That was a good show. And then we got Nate Castro from the 313 Den. How are you people doing today?
Fantastic. It's almost game time.
Yes, it is.
Yes, yes, and yes. How you doing today, Rumble?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. Happy Tuesday. Thank you, Marisa and Nate, for both joining us. It's a pleasure to have you guys.
Likewise.
This is the best week. People need to get excited. The NFL, the wonderful Honolulu and blue, insert that into my veins. I'm ready.
Right. IV all day.
Every day.
All right. So we're going to just jump right in here for news and notes from the NFL. San Francisco signed Trent Williams to a 3-year, $82.6 million contract. This is after the Debo signing. They freed up $16.4 million with both their contracts. I guess this is to get set to sign Purdy for next year. So, everybody's talking about how their cap was real bad. They had a negative cap, but they seem to work it out all of a sudden. It seems like these players that ask for all this money, they're sitting there, hold out. And then all of a sudden they're going to be friendly to the team and say, oh, you know what? Oh, let's rework the contract out so we can get some more money. Dude, you're just wasting time. I don't understand the whole situation.
It's amazing how dedicated and all the wonderful words and poetry and flowers all of a sudden comes out when the bank account gets a wonderful hit that it does. Isn't it, fellas? It's just so interesting how all of a sudden everybody just instantaneously opens up a can of I'm now a team player. Right. When those millions of dollars hit the bank account. Now all of a sudden they want to be the best player possible.
That's the athletes in general for you. They're as good as you pay them.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
Pittsburgh also extended Cam Hayward to a 3-year, $45 million deal. That's good for their defense for a while.
I like Cam Hayward.
The New Jersey Jets, they extended cornerback Michael Carter II to a 3-year, $30.7 million deal. So there were some things done in the NFL over the past couple of days that impacts these teams. Now, saying this, San Francisco's Trent Williams, when he signed his contract, and the thing that motivated him to sign this contract was the whole Ricky Pearsall incident. Mm-hmm. And he said, oh, because I had to come back just because he was okay and everything like that. Now, what happened to Ricky Pearsall is that on, I believe it was like Saturday evening, or was it Saturday evening? Yeah, Saturday evening.
Oh, yeah, Saturday.
He got, or Saturday afternoon, actually, he got robbed, attempted robbery by a 17-year-old and tried to take his Rolex. He wouldn't give him his Rolex. So they had a scuffle and Purcell's got shot in the chest. The teen got shot as well. That's how they caught him. And so the bullet went through Purcell out the back, and the officer that was there on call, Sergeant Joelle Harrell, she, whoops, my bad. And she calmed Pearsall down on the scene because he was, he asked her if he was going to die and stuff like that. And, but she got there and just made sure that he wasn't bleeding through, kind of put pressure on the entrance room, put her cap on his back where the exit was at to hold the blood in until the ambulance came. He actually walked to the ambulance. He didn't get on they didn't
show the video. Yeah, he was walking out. Right.
He actually got on an ambulance. So it's great. I'm glad the young man wasn't a fatality in his young career. It happens too many times, and a lot of times to these football players too.
Can I say one thing about that?
Sure.
What is like I had my head how I want to say it. Like, is a Rolex worth your life? Like, seriously, there is insurance. I'm sure that you have insurance on these things. You can get them replaced. They can't replace yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What Rolex do you have to fight somebody for that could have possibly ended your life? Like, I'm sorry, I've never been robbed or anything like that, but I sure as hell know if somebody's got a gun and they want something, they can have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth my life.
I think the term that people need to get rid of, especially with that coming out in the news and finding out that it was over a watch, is sentimental value. Yeah. Your sentimental value is your life. The wonderful things that you got, they can be replaced. Are they going to be the same as what you got as a gift? No. But you only got one life on this planet. And just watching the video and reading the news about that and seeing all the reports that came out there. I mean, I'm grateful that he is fine and that he's going to make a full recovery, and to the individual, he's going to be charged with attempted robbery and such. But I agree with you 100%, Nathan. That's not worth it. And
he's lucky to be alive. He really
exactly. And two, what part of the area is this at, and where were the people that's supposed to be around him? This is your first round draft pick. Right. Did he not have some security? I mean, his agent was nearby because he left a signing to head somewhere else to whatever the Union Station or whatnot there in San Francisco. But where was the people that's supposed to be around you to protect you, to protect the asset that the 49ers invested this much money in for you coming from the first round?
I'll even do a better one for you. I mean, and I get it. They're athletes. They're humans. They there's nothing wrong with them being out in the real world. But the reality is that you're a target. Mm-hmm. Period. You're no different than being a candidate or a politician or something like that. You're a target for some people.
Yeah.
And the fact is that you can have somebody go shop for you. You can have somebody drive you. You don't need to be behind a wheel and kill somebody. You don't need to be somewhere where you could get killed. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't want to live in fear, but the reality is that you're a very important part to this team. You're a first-round draft pick. You're expected to come in and be a big asset to the team. Hey, you got to be smarter with your situations, because not everybody likes you or not everybody agrees with you and is going to roll the red carpet out for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the thing that's another, people don't, he's not recognizable. He's a rookie. Nobody knows who Ricky Pearsall was, unless you are a really avid football fan. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying a 17-year-old was not, but he probably didn't have no idea who that was. He was robbing and saw the Rolex. Mm-hmm. And people in desperate measures want to do desperate things. So
sure.
I'm just saying it probably was even one of those kind of things. But at the same time, dude, you're walking down the street, give him the Rolex. Hell, give him your wallet. Your agent's around the corner. He's got money. If it push comes to shove, get money from your agent until you get another check. Yeah,
that's why you get insurance.
Don't be a hero. Don't try to be a hero. Don't try to, he is very lucky he is still alive. Very.
Mm-hmm.
And they said it just missed his vital organs by like maybe a couple inches.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got on that Rumble.
Yeah, I'm all of you guys have said everything I was going to say. I know kind of growing up in the 90s in the Detroit, it was all about Jays. We had instances, growing up in school in that era where it was like, you would over your shoes. But yeah, certainly him being new to the area and that 17-year-old, they were probably the same size. I'm not trying to make light of anything, but like you said, that kid probably didn't even know who he was. He probably just looked at him like a mark, yeah, it's just unfortunate. And to Marissa's point, if you're going to a signing, the team should be able to get you transportation there and give you security. Again, you're talking about San Francisco. It's kind of choppy in that region of California. And like you said, it's you can't tell me there's not a God. The bullet missed Violet Oregon's an inch or two away. So I'm happy he's all right. And I'm glad he's safe. I'm glad he's alive. Now we get to see, how much the league and all of his teammates kind of rally around him. It's going to be, now it's the whole trust thing in the public over there in that area. You know what I mean? It's going to be a lot, man. Psychological damage. And, it's going to be a lot for this young kid to kind of get his mind back around football, man. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, to add about on that too, I mean, every major city has their crime problems. You can get mugged down in downtown Detroit too if the timing is right. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, he was batting 1,000 on that one because not only did he miss getting his life ended, he managed to wound the assailant as well. And I mean, you better like cats have 9 lives, buddy. You just got used 7 of them right there. So you better be thankful when you get to play football again. You go out there and give it your all because you might not have that opportunity like we all want at some time in the life for that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's very fortunate though that he's okay. San Francisco's going to probably use this as a rallying point now, but that's fine. Whatever. They're still going to lose. But anyway, the point.
Back to business.
Darius Slay says he's looking forward to playing a game, but he's not looking forward to going to Sao Paulo to play because again, we have a crime rate situation with this city, and it's very high. And they go about a different way, in South America. It's not just, robbing people, gangs or nothing like that. They actually, kidnap people off the street, rich people, whatever. And that's just something they do every day. So that, they're told to stay in their hotels. Don't go outside at all until game time, till the bus comes and gets them. So they got to stay there the whole entire time in their hotel. In fact, he's told his family, don't even bother coming down here because all you're going to be doing is seeing me in a hotel room. And that's not what, I wanted to come down here to do. And he said, I don't know why the NFL put us in that position. And I agree with him. I'm really tired of Goodell, the devil, by the way, that's what I call him. I'm getting tired of him doing these games, and he's thinking about the dollar. He's not thinking about the players. Let's put it plain as it is. That's what he's doing. Because you don't go down there and put 100-something players down there and coaches in risk for a game.
Or just in a country you don't know anything about.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Why would you do that? I mean,
here's the thing, gentlemen. I understand the fact that the NFL is trying to go global and they're trying to expand the National Football League to a broader audience than just the United States. We've done, there's been games that's been featured in England. There's been games featured in Mexico. And I understand Goodell is supposed to, continuing to wanting to expand. The problem that I see with that is you have to reach a target audience safely. You have literally billions of dollars over the course of all of these teams invested in each of these people. You can see that when they put on the uniform, they're basically an expansion of the investment of the owner and the owner's folks, if that makes sense. So they have all of this money and entity and equity into their properties. I'm putting it as a business term, and the properties, the high-rise buildings, the apartments, the land, all of that, that's the players. And so when you have someone over the league, such as Goodell, wanting to reach a broader audience, he has to be smart with the decision-making on where you're going to have these games featured at. There was a lot of issues, and correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there a lot of issues, I want to say a year or two ago when they played in Mexico? There was a whole lot of issues that were on the table as far as that is concerned. And a lot of players had brought that up, saying, you know, I got a little bit of the experience, but we couldn't go outside because, you know, people are talking about the cartel, people are talking about kidnapping. And you would think that that would, you know, resonate. It makes sense to Goodell and all the Goonies, as I call them. Then you would go and repeat the process now in Sao Paulo. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. If you're trying to expand the interest of not so much the dollar, because we already know we're not fools. We already know what the NFL, the no fun league, basically will try to flip a wooden nickel and make it into $500,000. Okay, so with all of that being said, they got to be smart on where they are going to expand and play for the future, the hopes of getting more NFL fans, but they have to make it make sense on a security level.
Yeah, right. And also too, like, there's a reason why people don't go outside of the United States, because the truth and reality is we're not welcome in a lot of places. Okay, it's a hostile environment outside of the U.S. This is our safe zone. So the thing is, when you go to another country, you're under their rules and their regulations. And okay, you're going to put them up in a hotel the whole time. Who's running the hotel? Who's going to be watching the players? Like, there's a lot of stuff that I would be very concerned about. And if I'm a player and I don't feel safe, I'm not going. I'm sorry. Yeah. Again, we talk about our safety. We talk about our lives. If there's any possibility of something bad happening to any of these players, then I advise you don't go, because who cares? It's just a game. Is your game worth a life? No, it's not. You've got kids, you've got families, you've got wives, you've got other people that are wanting you to be safe. And if you don't feel safe, then there's no reason in heck you should get on that plane and go to this country, because you don't know anything about this country. We don't know anything about this country. Here's a fun fact. The gang colors are green. Why the hell are the Eagles and the Packers playing in this game? Those are green colors. Are they colorblind is Goodell colorblind?
Forget about the checked bags. Like, you're one checked bag away from a 9-year prison sentence. The green. You see the uniform, you're gonna get locked up.
And they're all targets. They're all targets because they're gonna be sticking out like a sore thumb when they go out there. They're gonna size, the bodies, the height, and everything. You're gonna know who they are. Now, I'm gonna say this right now. If anything happens in Brazil of any kind of situation, Goodell needs to be removed from the owner ASAP. I mean, the commissioner ASAP, and needs to be investigated.
Yeah, that's not going to be
because
happening.
this is scary. Because just the fact is, if the colors of the gangs are green, and you have two teams that are green colors, that is scary, guys. That's not nothing to joke about. That is some serious stuff, because these gangs, they don't just scare people. They do other things, and you're on their turf.
Yeah, I think the teams that try to do a workaround as far as the colors were concerned, because I think Philadelphia's got a black helmet with black pants. And I think that Green Bay might be coming in there with all white or all yellow or something like that. They got a color scheme that they're changing to.
Yeah, but what about the fans? The fans are going to be wearing their colors.
Well, the fans are there. I would say most of them would be from Sao Paulo. I don't think there's going to be too many people.
All right, baby, don't wear that green until you get inside the
And I'm sure they heard that too. I'm sure they heard that.
Put your team jersey on, and as soon as the game is over with, take that jersey off, wear your black T-shirt that's underneath it. Just go to your next destination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then one more thing about this game, which I have no idea understanding on this. The game's not even going to be on TV.
It really is.
Most people don't have Peacock. So your game's not even going to air on TV. So your loved ones can't even see what's going on unless they have Peacock, which I'm pretty sure they will. But still, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, you send someone to a hostile environment and you don't even air the game on national TV. Are you saying you're worried about what could happen?
They can thank the Olympics for that, for the most subscribers to Peacock because of people being so excited about the Olympics and the Paralympics that are currently on right now. So a lot of subscriptions to streaming networks such as Peacock has gone up. And on top of which, during the Olympics, there was more entertainment than the previous Olympics because you had Kevin Hart, you had Snoop, you had Martha Stewart, you had Kenan Thompson, breakdancing. You had all of those things that were happening on the Peacock network that you couldn't see on NBC, and people were intrigued by them, which caused the ratings to go up. So they're trying to hold the audience to hold on to Peacock because of what you're saying.
Yeah, I understand the Peacock idea from the dollar standpoint, but what I think is more concerning is that if something was to go awry in Sao Paulo during the game, they don't want it on national TV because it's going to look like egg on the face of the NFL.
Right.
So they're going to put it on a limited network. So if something does happen, not everybody's going to know what the heck's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of smart by the NFL. Like, if anything goes sideways, not the whole national TV is going to see it.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm kind of conflicted. You bring up a great point, Nate, as far as the player safety. That's huge. That to me is like 70% of where my heart's at right now with the safety of, not only the players, but all the NFL personnel. And again, I'm all for them, introducing, Brazil to American football. I'm all for the, helping the local economy, whether it be with catering or whatever the case may be. But yeah, ultimately, how secure does Goodell have this? And to your point, we know those third world countries, man. Some of them have the army and the military, is kind of corrupt. So I'm sure he did all his homework. I'm sure he did, his due diligence as far as that goes. But again, every day, the world outside of the U.S. is evolving, and there's more hate and then more everything that we may not necessarily see every day. So I hope and pray nothing happens to anyone. And I hope that, somebody can, something good can come from this. I know we're going to get our criticisms for, like, look at America. They're over here. How dare they? But I think this is kind of, like I said, I'm kind of on the fence, but I'm more worried about the player safety and personnel, than anything. It's so much bigger than the game. To you guys' point, like all you guys said the same thing. How much money is too much money at this point? You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm just worried about that part. But
that's the scary thing about the Goodell. Like, he's about the bottom dollar. Like, everything, the betting, all this, moving, going overseas, all this stuff. He's all about making the money, but you really don't see a lot of, like, unification within the players. And you now I understand why the PA always has issues with him, because the PA is like, dude, you don't give a crap about us, man. You just care about the money. You want to extend the season to 18 games, great. That's just more money for you. That's more wear and tear on our players. You want to get rid of preseason? Great. Okay, cool. Then we don't have enough practice. Then our players are going to get hurt more. Like, you got to get them. You got to get them kind of into the season. Like, so it's a scary the turf grass argument too. It's concerning. It really is concerning. And if I'm the PA president, I'm like, dude, we got to sit down and figure out what the heck. Like, what are you trying to do? Because it's almost like you're running this like a dictatorship, and we're it's like, we're the gladiators and you're the people in the stands that just want the entertainment. Like, you know, and we all know what happens to the gladiators, you know, they fight to the death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thumbs down. Exactly. So, you know, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. And I've heard from many players say this at sometimes that it kind of feels that way with these owners and all that. Like, they don't have a say. Yeah, we're getting paid millions of dollars, but for what? You know, like our health, our safety, you know, it's all concerning, you know?
Yeah, he this international stuff, that's cute. Okay. I don't condone the fact that you're going overseas and trying to establish NFL teams. Don't care if it's for the good of the money or the good of the league or not. Okay. You got logistic issues that you got to deal with. Players have to adjust to them countries' lifestyles because they got to live there basically.
Yeah.
So Germany, they're different places, and they might be a little bit more well adjusted, unfortunately, than America is. You know, we have our bad issues here, but you know, they might be more well adjusted, but you still have the logistics issue. Just keep stuff in the northern hemisphere. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it in the northern. You gotta put a team in Toronto. I mean, NBA did it. I don't have no reason why NFL can't do it. You know, match somewhere like that. You know.
And the thing is, Brazil's a country, man. Like, you're not gonna change a soccer in that country. Soccer's always gonna be number one. Anywhere you go outside the U.S., soccer reigns supreme. So I mean, I don't know what Goodell's methodology is trying to bring the NFL to other countries. Well, yeah, that's of course,
some money.
But outside of that, what's the real reason? Because most people are soccer fans, you know. Like,
you're trying to inundate people with football that they don't want to. It's fine for them to watch. It's like, oh yeah, let's watch American football, blah blah blah. That's good for them, but they're not going to sit there and be doing the same thing they do in a soccer field that they do in a football field. Them people are crazy for soccer over there.
Right.
They go absolutely nuts. They'll rush the soccer field and mob the players and all that stuff. So, I mean, they wouldn't be able to do that on the NFL, and that restraint will probably force them not to appreciate the NFL as much as because they actually get to channel their inner selves with the players on the field. We see it as being crazy, but these fans love their players and they love to interact with them. And that's what that's all about on that side. Over here, we're guarded about that kind of stuff because we got crazy folks over here too, but they on a different level of crazy.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, it's all about the money, and that's unfortunately what has brought this league down a level. I long for those days of Paul Tagliabue. Those are the great days. I mean, you could have that. Days. You could have that element of a commissioner still make the changes that you have made to this point, except for the defensive penalties and all that stuff's got to go. People don't realize football is a gladiator sport. It is an entertainment. And that's why a lot of positions don't last more than 10 years, or 10 years is about your peak in a lot of the positions on the field. So, I mean, and the football players, when they go in here, Pee Wee League, they go into high school, then they go into college, they know this stuff. They're well aware what can happen to them on the field. So that's what they sign up for. That's what they get paid all that money for. And I mean, I don't want to sound, offsetting to the whole situation, because I appreciate the entertainment that they bring me every Sunday. I appreciate that, the commodity that they show the team, how corporations are built from that stature. But at the same time, hey, I want you to go down and nail that sucker. That's what I want you to do. I want you to go oblivious. I want you to knock the snot bubbles out of them. I don't want to see this I got to pull up, and that's the stuff that Goodell adds. And I don't like it. He's making the NFL more like a flag football league now. It's going to turn into that, than what it started off to be.
Another point I want to bring to the table too is that, like, people don't realize that, by going overseas for these games, you're taking a home game away from your team or an opportunity to go watch your team. And we all know the expenses that NFL games bring. They're expensive. You know, good seats are astronomical in some areas, you know, and that might have been the only time they could see their team play. And they're sure as hell not going to go to Sao Paulo to see the game, let alone they can't watch it on TV if they don't have Peacock, you know, which most people don't have those kind of channels. Most people don't even have cable, you know. And so it's kind of sad that you're taking away the game that people love here and embrace here, and you're trying to instill it somewhere else where you don't know what it's going to be receptive to it. Yeah, London likes the NFL games. Cool. Yeah, they embrace the Jaguars like that. They're their brother or whatever it is. You know, Germany, maybe to some extent, we'll see. There's a second year in Germany. Sao Paulo, who the hell knows? You know, this is going to be like an experiment, you know, but I'd rather just have the games back here in the U.S. for the fans that want to see their team play. And like you said, at some point you can move on later on down the line to play in the U.S. or outside of the U.S. or whatever it is. Maybe you put them in the Olympics. Hey, flag football. Put them in flag football. You know, we can watch them in Sao Paulo playing flag football. I'm cool with that. You know, if it's part of the Olympics, because we know the Olympics are pretty well taken care of, all their Olympians and all that when they go overseas. But don't take the bottom line and put it somewhere else.
Especially with two teams that are potentially divisional playoff teams. I mean, Green Bay and Philadelphia, I have high hopes for them this year. And why would you put that kind of not that any NFL game wouldn't have been a better choice. I'm just saying you that's a Star Wars game.
Sure. It's a big game.
It's a big game. So why would you have that? Like I said, I have no answers for that guy. I don't know what's going on with Goodell. I know it's about the money. It's always about the money. But that dude,
it's just scary when you're putting money ahead.
Sit the hell out. That's what he needs.
He does.
I'm just tired of him. He gets on my nerves. Anyway, he is my biggest pet peeve in the NFL anywhere.
There's a reason why his ass gets booed all the time.
Yeah.
It's for a reason. I've never seen a commissioner get booed as much as he does. But it's a reason.
Well, let's not talk any more bad stuff here. We need to keep going with being down. You know, the football season's coming. The Lions are playing Sunday. You know, we're gonna stomp on the Rams on our way to the Super Bowl. So let's be joyful.
Yeah.
People. Let's be joyful.
Yeah. Forget the other team. Let's talk about our team.
Yeah. So we were talking about this off screen just before we came on. How did everybody like that? I don't know if you've seen it yet, Marissa, but the Dan Campbell Applebee's commercial. Anybody seen that?
I saw it for the first time today.
How did you like it?
That was, you know, Applebee's comes up with some unique marketing. I'll give them that.
Yeah,
I want to see him on a Geico commercial because they always have the creativity for everything. I'd love to see him on a Geico commercial. Like just something random, like, hey, you talk about gambling, and Dan Campbell pops out of the closet. What'd you say? I said we go for it.
Well, you know, actually, you know, it'd be a good place to have him market for is Starbucks. Starbucks is kind of on that patch where people are like, you're not doing this for your employees. Right? You're not doing this. Yeah, you can come in there and pipe it up a little bit, you know?
Oh, man.
I need 2 espresso.
On that cup.
Right.
2 espresso. All the coffee he drinks. Oh, my God.
All that Starbucks coffee he drinks, that'd be a great plug for him. But yeah, I thought it was, I hate to use the word because it sounds kind of weird, but it was kind of cute. It was cute. I don't know if it was exactly the funniest thing I've seen.
It was corny as hell.
It was very corny.
Cute.
It was very
cool.
Yeah. I put it right up there with the racing helmet. It was very Dan Campbell-esque. It was very like you said, novelty. Applebee's has been in the slump, and you know that's where I used to take my dates first. You know what I mean? Growing up, so you know they're trying to get back to that kind of. Let's go here and watch the game and get a free app. You know,
Applebee's is for lovers.
There you go. Applebee's is for lovers.
Applebee's is for lovers.
I'll say this, and I'll probably get killed in the chat for this, but Dan Campbell has the Denzel effect. You know, Denzel Washington could turn a bad movie into a great movie. Okay?
Yeah, Apple.
What was that movie? That train movie? That was a terrible movie, but Denzel made the movie. You know,
Oh, the one with
Dan
Chris Pine?
Campbell. Yeah, Dan Campbell made that commercial. Like the commercial was terrible, really, as the design and everything. It could have been done different when you had Dan Campbell, but everybody loved it because it's Dan Campbell. Like it's like when he pops out, he's like Richard Simmons, man. You just get excited. You're like, yeah, it's Dan Campbell. Let's go. What other coach has that kind of ability? Maybe
even if you're not a fan of the Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell, you still love the commercial and you still respect Dan Campbell because of his character. You don't hear no kind of scandalous anything or him disrespecting players. It's
he's
so
a dude.
refreshing.
He's just a dude. He's
Well,
like
I
us. He's a dude.
I think
Dude that coaches football.
he seems relatable. He's like basically like one of us in the locker room, and everybody there respects him. And y'all, we have been waiting for something like that for so long.
Absolutely.
For a team to just rally around their coach. To when you saw it on when he first came on there before the episode of Hard Knocks, which I saw all the episodes literally on repeat because I just loved that we were featured on there.
One ass and two cheeks.
And it was just so good from where the Detroit Lions and the island of misfit QBs and the island of misfit coaches and everything that we went through as a fan base and all the late night jokes and the punchlines and all of that, to have a first time head coach, and everybody was, even some Lions fans that I called out on social media that was having their little, fair weatheredness, and now all of a sudden they're diehards because, I have no shame calling them out because you're a diehard when we went 0-16 and you still are rocking with the team. That's considered a diehard. You didn't abandon the team when we were at our ultimate lowest. So don't act like that you are now a super fan at our ultimate highest. That we're,
that was real close.
Right.
Real close.
Don't do that. Like, you rocking with this team or you rocking with this team. We don't need no frauds in our fan base. You know what I'm saying?
You weren't there in 0-16. You can't be there when we're at the top of the top of the table.
Exactly. You don't get to be on top of the mountain with us. We was there when all of that was happening. And so it's so great to have that kind of bragging right. It was so great that this team last year got some tears out of me that we waited 30-something years for, to clinch the NFC, and then to win a playoff game, like literally in the middle of my living room, bawling like a baby with no shame. I didn't care because we got there, you know what I'm saying? So, and then to almost get off of the porch of the teams that never been to the Super Bowl, just to have the ultimate collapse of the second half. But for me, here's my last point that I'm gonna take from it, guys, is that this man would literally run through a brick wall for this team since day one.
And he said that in his presser when he cried that one time. He's like,
he
love
did.
This team. I love y'all.
He said it in Hard Knocks.
And you felt it. He said it in Hard Knocks. And so for all of this stuff to be happening, the fan base to be going up, the tickets to sell out, guys. This, yes, the ticket prices and some of the concession food and all that's going to go up. But you know what, doggone it, it's worth every doggone dollar.
We're still the lowest in beer.
I'm here in Dallas going to the game because we're going to run it back because
that's
I was
a whole
there.
Different ball game.
I was there last year. I'm like, just don't involve Brad Allen. As long as Brad Allen isn't the cheap date that's going to be there, you know what I mean? I'm there. I'm there for this game.
The hard points right now. The championship, Brad Allen. Those are the fighting words for the Lions right now.
They are. I mean, I'm going to wear my shirt. Jack Skipper reported. Taylor Decker reported. I reported too. I got my fits. Listen, I got my fits ready for this game. Okay.
That is awesome.
I may have to ask you guys to bail me out. It may be a collect call from the county because listen,
know your surroundings. You're from Dallas, so you're good. I'm from Texas too, but I wasn't from the Dallas area, so I wasn't gonna get.
Oh no, boo! I'm from the Mid. I'm live in Texas. I'm an implant from Lansing, Michigan. I'm straight up 517. I'm the capital city, baby. I'm so dirty north. I let the people know. Listen what my shirt says. I'm a Michigan gangster. I already know. I let the people know.
I love that shirt. Love that shirt. Love
Michigan
that
gangsta.
shirt.
Wow.
Everybody's like, now that you moved to Texas, you should be a Cowboys fan. I will never, ever, to the ever. I am Honolulu Blue to the day I leave this earth.
I would
How hard
have
did you
gave
laugh
him
when
my mitt.
they asked you that, though? How hard did you laugh when they asked you to be a Dallas You got to be a Dallas Cowboy fan. I would have been on the floor.
Oh, I'm on the floor, but here's the thing. I'm 13 years married into a Buckeye fan and a Dallas Cowboy fan. I didn't do a thorough background check on them.
Oh, man. House divided there.
Marisa. Oh, my God, Marisa.
She really is a Michigan gangster.
You're gonna have the fighting words this year when we beat Dallas's ass.
Yes, period.
Yeah.
Period.
Straight up.
Period.
There'll be no controversy. We're gonna beat their ass.
None.
Right.
I better not see that referee or his doggone goons anywhere near our games. Not at all. Keep them yellow flags and your negative and your kickbacks to yourself. I better not see not one of them. Better not be cheating our team this season, y'all. I am so ready for our team to run it back. I'm excited about what they're going to do and this team and what they're going to do. And the one thing, and I know probably we're going to talk about, and I'm sorry I'm a little ahead of it, of just seeing these 3 preseason games, and y'all can, we can expand about it, is that I feel we actually have a rock solid backup QB for the first time in a long time.
I second that.
Hendon Hooker.
Hendon is going to be.
He's got some wheels. I'll say that.
I think we'll see him in some special moments. Believe it or not, I truly believe Ben Johnson has a playbook just for Hendon, man. Oh, absolutely, man. We might even see a triple option with him and Sione or whoever. It's gonna be. There's gonna be some I haven't thought about that one yet. Crazy stuff, man.
I mean, this is I think Johnson's going to Coach Johnson's going to pull some just rabbits out of his hat. That's going to just. Oh my God, I'm ready.
Got a lot of pieces to play with, just like Aaron Glenn does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man. Woo.
Yeah, if you didn't see the presser on Monday, Dan Campbell said that everybody that was injured or on the injury report, those people are going to play, except for Iffy. They don't know exactly what's going on with him yet. It's a slow heal, whatever's bothering him, so they don't know.
Strickland didn't practice either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and Strickland is.
Yeah.
But everybody is going to be basically ready for game 1.
Sold out at home.
Monday night.
Matthew Stafford Part 2.
Going down.
It's going to be playoff energy without the playoffs. Kelly Stafford said she wasn't going to be there physically. I was like, good. Stay your ass where you at.
Yeah, you talk about a game that is way to cap off Sunday night. Detroit knows how to put on a show, man. What can we say, man? Whether we're on the road or at home, it's only better.
Games.
It gets even better when we're at home, man. That dome's gonna be rocking, man. And again, I love the fact that this is what I will give Goodell. I don't know who's writing the scripts there. I don't know if it's Steven Spielberg or Charles Stein. Or whoever it may be, but this is going to be a good game. I mean, on paper, you have Ben Johnson versus a guy who everybody considers a great, mastermind offensively, Sean McVay. But then you have Dan Campbell, who has gotten what Sean McVay could not get out of Jared Goff. I mean, it's something that you can't write this. Here's a guy who was just all but just tossed to the side. You're not good enough for us. Jared Goff California kid comes into the city of Detroit where the temps can get below 0. And he all but remasters himself. He becomes he becomes part of the city. We embrace him and man.
He could have been salty and bitter, but he took that and turned it into a chip on his shoulder.
It was fun to watch too.
We were honored and privileged to see what he did.
He wanted a new change. He knew both teams wanted something different. They wanted a different quarterback, and Goff was the guy. And Goff wanted out of McVay's doghouse. He wanted to be the guy again. He wanted to show that he's still got a lot left in the tank, and he just wanted somebody to believe in him. And that's exactly what Detroit did.
The difference between Sean McVay and Dan Campbell is both of the head coaches knew that Jared Goff is talented, but Dan Campbell
They didn't know how to use him. They didn't know how to use him.
That part, and that Dan Campbell believes in Jared Goff. The believability, it was so present during Hard Knocks that we saw that on the field every time Jared Goff had the ball. He went how many weeks without throwing an interception?
Man, I think like 8 or 9, was it?
Yeah, on 8
I
or
think
9.
it was.
That's unheard of. Think of the
incredible.
last QB that did that. I'll wait.
Up for the Lions?
Tom Brady?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, the Lions, though, yeah. Tom Brady sure did it.
I'm just saying for the Lions. Yeah, Tom Brady. I mean.
And this is another thing you got to understand, too. Everything that we got in the first year wasn't pretty.
Right.
Amon St. Brown was the first person to tell you, truthfully, I did not want to come to Detroit. I did not.
He wanted to go to Green Bay. He wanted Green Bay to
I didn't want to
draft
be
him.
nobody.
Yeah.
He wanted to be with his brother.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that's the kind of thing that Dan Campbell can do for you as a player. As time and the players believed in his system, they believed in him. They want to run through that door. That's why Amon St. Brown is one of the best receivers in the league right now.
Period.
Because it wasn't just his will. It was Dan Campbell also saying, dude, I know you can be the best receiver in here. I know you really didn't want to be here. Goff is another one that kind of mentally said he didn't really want to come here in that situation because he wasn't feeling everything. But
Detroit, man, it was where quarterbacks die, according to what people say.
Where the team dies, basically. But Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson, AG, they all pumped that confidence into these players and said, hey, do this for the fans. That's what we're here for. You can do all the individual accolades. So our main mission is to get a Super Bowl for this city. That's our main mission. So put all that ego stuff to the side. Let's do it for the Lions.
I'm selling every possession possible for two things. We get to the Super Bowl, which we will. I'm selling a bunch of stuff off. I don't care. And number two, I'm selling more stuff off to get to the parade because period. That is it. End of story. Point blank.
Woodward is going to be incredible if we get that.
I will take the red eye there. I'll celebrate with all the wonderful family and friends. And
I'll go off grid for about a month.
Yeah, me too. I'm taking a couple sick days and
more than 6 days.
I don't care how cold it is. I will be down there at 12 midnight before the parade. I don't care.
Nothing but the smoke, friends and family that is watching this show. I know you don't know me, but I'm just letting you know right now. Be prepared to be sick of us. We are going to be talking about this for a very long time when we hit that mountaintop. Be prepared to be sick of us for 1 full year, season to season. Book it. Save this clip.
NFC North is
save this clip.
Get your popcorn ready.
Make fun of us if you want to when we cry like babies because of the thing that we have never experienced in our lifetime. You can say whatever you want, put it on X, whatever it is. Don't talk about our friends. Don't talk about our mama. But say what you want to about us, because I will.
Don't talk about mama.
Don't talk about my mama.
Don't talk about
but you can. Why you 50-something years old, Marisa, and you crying? Because I can. Because my team made it there. Because we won the whole thing, and your team didn't. So
because I have grit.
That mama stuff, Marisa might be Mr. Gangster, but I'm from the 313, baby. I ain't playing that.
Ain't playing that.
Born and raised in the D. Nope,
period.
Not gonna happen.
Don't want none, won't be none.
That's right. That is right.
You know what separates Dan Campbell from all the coaches we've had in the past, and even including Wayne Fonz, who I have a lot of respect for Wayne Fonz.
Love Wayne Fonz.
Because he was through the dog days of hell, but he got his team to the championship. They didn't get to the Super Bowl, but he had the last team was successful was because of Wayne Fonz and Barry Sanders, of course. But Dan Campbell is a player. He's played the game. He's been in the trenches. He's been on crappy teams. He's been on good teams.
He knows it.
He's relatable. He knows how to talk to these players when they're at their lowest, and he knows when to bring them up or put them down if they need to, humble them in a sense. Like he knows how to do it because he's been in the game. And what does he do? He brings in guys who've played the game. AG, Shep, who else am I forgetting? Deshae Townsend, like all these dudes.
Mark Brunell.
Mark Brunell.
And he's been doing this over the course of his reign.
Exactly. He brings diversity, coaches, and he brings.
At one time, we had Deuce Staley. So
Deuce Staley, but he brings in guys who can
that got it.
These guys
that get it. Yes,
that get it.
Right here on that playing level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not a coach who wish you could, but a coach that was there in the trenches. Yes.
Yeah, there's no
egos either. And the icing on the cake is that he played for the Lions, so he knows how bad this organization was.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So I mean, you add all that together. I mean, everything came into a great mix at the right time.
Period. The image that will always stay in my mind. Nathan made the valid point of how relatable it is. Look at where we were at when we had Penguin-looking Matt Patricia, and we had that first win. And I will never forget the image of him trying to hype up everybody in the locker room, and Darius Slay was so uninterested and was just looking as if he did not want to be there. And then look at what we have today. Every little clip that's posted on social media about Coach Campbell talking to the players, everybody got all eyes locked in on him and how interested it is. You got Sheila Ford Hamp in there. You got Mother Martha that's in there. You got you got everybody from the upper office and the owners and all of them right in that locker room too. I've never seen anything like that. Never.
Because he knows it takes a village to raise the family.
And the village came out of their suites and they came down in there, whether they took the L or whether they went and got the W. Either way, they were revigorated and
they all bought into his philosophy of what they wanted.
That's my point. And it continues now with the sold out tickets and all of us fans.
Now we're buying in. Now we're buying into what they've put out.
And it's a beautiful thing.
That's the final step, right?
It's a beautiful thing of what's happening with this. So yes, when I say inject this season into my veins so much more than before, it's because I'm excited, guys. I'm excited about what's to come. And I wholeheartedly believe we running this back and we running it all the way to the echelon of the Super Bowl. I'm ready.
Well, Nolan's, baby.
Nolan
Street is gonna
give me Honolulu Blue with a side of dirty rice. I'm ready.
There you go.
Yeah, Dan Campbell makes it great because he's a human. A lot of Andy Reid is pretty humanized too when he comes to coaching. But Dan Campbell is probably one of those people that everybody can relate to. It's not whatever city you're from, you can relate to Dan Campbell. You can relate to him. He's like your uncle, or he's like, a brother-in-law that's he's the protector of the family, even though he's your brother-in-law. That kind of guy. He's that dude. And as long as he keeps being that dude, this team is going to continue to flourish. I hope they keep signing him and re-signing him until the dude needs a cane to walk around. Because that's dude.
When we win the Super Bowl, give him a lifetime contract. I don't care what it takes. Make him a Michigander, a Lion forever in life. Like, don't bring anybody else because
I'm gonna need a statue of him pointing or something, or the Rocky fist up in the air. Something.
No, the howl.
The
howl. I love that. I love that meme. The howl when he howls.
But yeah,
we're so dedicated. I mean, look at the turnout at the draft. I don't know if you all were there. I was there for set the record, baby. Each night, each day. It was oh my God, it was beautiful.
Insane.
It was absolutely insane.
Because Detroit loves their teams.
Hello.
And the teams don't always love them. Let's be real. They don't always love them. But these people will show up to the games and root their hearts out for their team. And being from Texas, I thought Texas had the strongest fan base when it came to sports. I'm starting to change that a little bit because I think there's a lot of fair weather fans here in Texas.
There is a lot of fair. They are. They just they tell on themselves.
they're dedicated, and then there's ones that are kind of, we'll see what happens. I'll maybe cheer for them when they get to the playoffs or whatever.
Side note, sorry, Dallas Cowboys fans, I'm going to go there. I'm married to one. He works early morning, so he sleeps. So he'll probably hear this if he watches the replay. Number one, no, Dak should not get paid.
Nope.
Because right now he needs to prove that he can get y'all to the promised land and win, the first game to get you over the hump. Number two, it's about time you signed CD Lamb. He deserved it. Nice. Glad he got the bag. It's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Number three, Jerry Jones, Uncle Jerry. Uncle Jerry. I know you want to keep this team forever and ever and ever, and you don't trust none of your sons to run the team, but it's time for you to turn the reins over to your team. Let Steven run it. I know you still want to put your old 88-year-old tail into telling everything and everybody what to do and all of that, but loose and let go and let your son just run this team. That's on behalf of my husband. He's saying he needs to loose and let it go. But as far as Dak in this contract and should he get paid and everything else, sir, until you can prove that you can move this team past where they need to go in the postseason, which I hope you don't. As Lions fans, we don't. But as Cowboys fans, I hear the rumblings. I hear it from the person I'm married to. I hear it all over the city and everything else about, their diehard Dallas Cowboys until they get to the postseason and it just belly flops and all of that. And then, fire Mike McCarthy for the 90th time. I don't think that they should extend any kind of contract until the result says. That's why Uncle Jerry is dragging his feet right now. That's why he does this with players. He wants to have more of the trophies, not so much on display, but more display in his private office. But he knows Dak is not going to get them there. I'll just say it. I said it. Breaking news. Dak is not that. Dak is talented. He's not that QB that's going to get them there.
Yeah.
No.
Somebody's going to prove me wrong. I'm sorry. Sorry, Cowboys fans, if you're watching. Sorry.
He throws the ball 100 times a game. So there was talk last year like, oh, he's MVP. Well, if I throw the ball 100 times a game, I better leave with 400 or 500 yards. There's no way.
That's a lot of picks too.
Right. Exactly. So to Marissa's point, this does not, just because you throw the ball a lot does not mean you're going to win the game. If you don't have a run game, if I can just sit and prevent and let you throw picks and let you throw underneath and that gets you nowhere. I mean, I think, to be fair, I brought this up a lot. I said, I think the Lions wore them out so that when Green Bay went in there to play them, they were kaput. They had nothing else to give. They got
the playoff-itis, man. They don't show up in the playoffs. That's been their MO.
Unless
you beat up with Tom Brady.
Yeah, and I'm not really blaming all that on Dak either. They don't have a run game. They didn't have a run game last year. Their run game was last year. Their offensive line was shady at times. Their defense came to play, but then when it came to the playoffs, where was defense at? And Micah Parsons is another person that needs to be paid. However,
I agree with that.
Dude,
100%.
You haven't done nothing in either of the playoff games that you've been in. People ran right through you, eliminated you from the play, and you didn't do anything to set yourself. So
that's all Dak for that. But inject week 6 into. I have week 6 on 3 of my planners circled 5 times. Week 6 is about to. Y'all gonna see me on TV. They may drag me away. I don't know. Pray for me.
After bye week, we should be well rested.
We're gonna be well rested. And we're going to knock out that Dallas Star-tailed America's team, because America's team is the one that has 4 letters, GRIT. Thank you.
Another thing too with the Cowboys is that the Cowboys are in cap hell. I mean, there's a reason why they can't sign Micah Parsons. There's a reason why they're probably going to put Dak's contract aside, because they don't have the money. I mean, they were negative cap before the summer started. That's why they didn't do anything in free agency. It's amazing they got the CD Lamb deal. I'm sure they backloaded the hell out of that deal just to get him to sign, but they didn't really improve themselves. They
had to backload it.
So
they lost Dan Quinn. Like they have a lot of unknowns right now. And so they're in a situation where you don't want to be. You're not good and you're not bad. You're right, mediocre in the middle. And I don't see them getting any better anytime soon, because they've got a lot of big name contracts coming up.
Who do you franchise first, Dak or Micah?
Well, Dak's still got a year in his contract.
Yeah, he still have a year.
Micah for sure. Yeah, because I mean, you can't afford to lose Micah Parsons.
No, I was just asking.
Who the hell can?
These are we are not Dallas fans, but you have Dallas fans who are like, thinking outside the box sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, we need Dak. It's like,
No, you got
serious,
Dallas
bro?
fans that just needs to be straight up honest.
You're right.
And
It's
now
like, what do you need?
it's time for you to stop being delusional and see that literally your head coach is on his seat is almost too hot. Your QB.
I don't know. That guy always looks like he's gonna get fired. He never gets fired. I don't understand. He's got
They
like
had
the
to
biggest
deal with
get out of jail free card.
Listen, if they could have that coach that was there for 7 seasons, head coach clap on, clap off for 7 seasons on the sideline. What's Mike McCarthy, man?
The thing with Mike McCarthy is a puppet to Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is not going to bring in a big name guy, just like he fired Jimmy Johnson because Jimmy Johnson was too much of an ego.
Mm-hmm.
Barry Switzer was too much of an ego.
Mm-hmm.
He wants a puppet to be coach, and Tommy Boy fits the bill. Like he is a puppet, and he'll do whatever Jerry Jones says, and that's why he has job security. But anytime he goes out of line, he's going to be on the employment line pretty quick. I guarantee you.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't understand that though, because you're a coach, your job is to win. And if your owner's getting in the way of that, I would certainly be trying to tell him, hey, dude, I know you pay my paycheck, but dude, could you step away for a minute and let me handle this whole situation? Because and I don't like McCarthy anyway. First of all, Aaron Rodgers made him. Okay,
right.
Aaron Rodgers made
Let's
McCarthy.
talk about it. Hey, absolutely.
McCarthy's
call
not
a spade a spade.
He's not the coach that Dallas needs.
The thing about Dallas too is Dallas loves mediocrity. They're okay with being 500. They're okay with getting barely into the playoffs and losing the first round. They're not Detroit. Detroit wants to win a damn Super Bowl. All right, we want to win. We don't want to be mediocre. We want to kick everybody's ass and take names.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're about, and that's what we're gonna do. When your GM comes out and says our goal is to win the Super Bowl, when the hell have you ever seen somebody say that with such conviction?
Well, see, Dallas. I'm not saying Dallas fans don't want to win a Super Bowl. They keep saying we got 5 rings.
Yeah, last time
they keep riding them 5 rings all the time, but you haven't won anything in this century.
See, this is why I'm so passionate about us running the NFC North, especially against Green Bay, just for the sheer fact that their general manager came out and said, well, we don't celebrate winning the division. We're above that. And I'm like, okay, cheesehead, game on. Because yes, you paid your boy Jordan Love. And yes, you all are a team that's going to be competitive. That's why I'm hyped about our division, gentlemen, because people think that it's going to be easy for the Lions. You know what? I want it to be competitive. I really do. I want to see what Caleb Williams is going to do with the Bears. I want to see that if, you gave Jordan Love the bag and what he's going to do with it. And how much does Sam Darnold have in the tank for the Vikings? Unfortunate situation happening with J.J. McCarthy being out for the season. That really sucks because I really, really thought that he was going to be, just that person that was going to compete for the starting quarterback job there in Minnesota. But I think our division is going to be competitive. It's going to be talked about. It's going to be intriguing. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of games. It's going to be close. I'm hyped about our division. I really am. I'm looking at all of the teams and seeing how competitive each of these teams are going to be when they play one another.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you, Marissa. I think this is going to. I think we have the best division in football right now. I'm going to just say
I agree.
I think people are not giving, they're not giving the Green Bay Packers their flowers. I think what they did last year in Dallas was unprecedented, especially the rocky start that Jordan Love got, beginning of the season. For him to go in there in a big game like that, so young. And again, I'm done giving Green Bay love after this, but I think that's a competitive team. And again, the Bears are too. I'm glad we play our guys, twice a year. That's going to propel us so that if we do happen to play, some NFC juggernauts like San Fran, we can, give Purdy his lick back because that's one of the games I'm looking most forward to seeing. And it's going to be teams like Green Bay and Chicago that kind of push us, because those games outdoors up in the Midwest are not the same as those games out in California that time of year. Those games right there, you're either going to, get your butt kicked or you're going to kick butt, elements, the whole nine. It's all mental. So I'm looking forward to, the NFC North. And again, I think it's one of the best divisions in football right now.
Hands
as far
down.
as competitive, all the teams are like right there, plus or minus 5, maybe. But yeah.
It is one of the best divisions, but and I'm going to go on record again, what I've been saying all summer. The Lions are going to sweep the North. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you have a rookie quarterback in Caleb Williams. Rookies don't win. Let's just be real. You can have all the best receivers. You could have Jerry Rice out there, but
unless you're CJ Stroud.
Yeah, but I mean, he barely.
But But you know what? You had a rookie coach, a rookie head coach, and a rookie QB. That's like a needle in a haystack, double blessing in disguise deal. And now the Texans are loaded, and we get to play them at Houston.
But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about what people say. CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud had a good year. There's no doubt, but he struggled early on. If you watch the season, their team was not good early on. They caught fire at the end, and CJ Stroud got better as the season went along. But they did all right. I mean, I don't think there was anything special. We'll see what CJ Stroud looks this year with more tape on him. Just like we'll see what Jordan Love looks like with more tape on him. But back to what I was saying. And then you've got the Packers, or I call them the Whackers, actually. The Whackers, who literally have Jordan Love for 8 games. And they also had Aaron Jones at that time. Now Aaron Jones is gone. So we'll really see how good Jordan Love is and see if he's worth the money.
And utilize his receivers. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then Minnesota, I don't even care about Minnesota. We're going to sweep them. We should sweep them. So, but
I don't want to say that because again,
if we lose to Minnesota, we got problems.
Well, here's the thing: which Sam Darnold is going to show up because Lions teams in the past have had issues with
last
Sam
year
Darnold at the helm.
To be fair, last year they gave us a run for our money. Let's be fair. Yeah. That quarterback, it came down to one bad play.
Yeah, I did.
And if he intercepted it, but that game was neck and neck.
But Rumble, it was because of the secondary. The secondary is
the reason why
listen. A lot of these games that we lost or got close to losing is because of our secondary.
Yeah, our secondary
they couldn't cover a cold.
Yeah,
But the thing is, like, listen. Here's the reality. If the Lions want to get to the Super Bowl, if they want to win the Super Bowl, if they want to be the talk of the town, you have to take care of your division. Period. Look at, I heard an excerpt from a podcast about Tom Brady. Tom Brady would look at his schedule every year and look at the AFC East and laugh. Because he'd go like, all right, I already got 6 wins. We're good. Or however, 8 wins, whatever is 8 wins. Yeah, I got 8 wins already in the bag. We're already in the playoffs. We're on the doorstep. That's what the Lions should look at our schedule. We have 8 wins in the bag if we take care of business because we are the better team with a better roster, with a better quarterback, and the better coach now. Show it.
Right. So now here's the banana in the tailpipe. You know how we played against Russian QBs last year. Justin Fields gave us fits.
Sure.
Now we got Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm. I'm not worried about Caleb.
Now, how much you're not worried about him at all?
No.
And even as a rookie, you're not worried about him. You're not worried about his.
I'll tell you why.
Running all over us like last year.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Justin Fields is a runner. I don't know if he'll ever be a really good quarterback throwing the ball. He is an actual good runner. He's like a Lamar Jackson running ability. He's got the size, he's got the speed, and he's a straight line runner. When he goes, he runs straight. Caleb can run sideways, which runs into traffic. He can run backwards, which is definitely, you don't do that as a quarterback. He's not Patrick Mahomes. And even Patrick Mahomes knows better not to run backwards. He's not a straight line runner. So if he's going to run sideways, he's going to run backwards. Hey, go for it, bro. Good luck, because this ain't college.
Yeah,
You know,
straight
and
line
so-
runners and QBs have rarely worked out in the NFL.
No. And the fact is, and we haven't seen him throw from the pocket. So what happens when he throws when the pocket's not clean? You know, is it going to be accurate? Is it going to be on time? I'm not worried about Caleb Williams, man. I mean, yeah, he could be good. There's no doubt, but man. I'm not worried about any of these quarterbacks in the division.
And then the thing you got to understand too, we might not know a lot about Caleb Williams as a rookie, but don't forget our defense has changed.
It has.
The secondary has changed. Now, we haven't played a single down with this secondary or this defense. However, based on what we got as far as the players that we have on defense, I'm not thinking that running quarterbacks are going to be much of an issue now. Because if we have the front four squishing that offensive line on a constant basis and having a linebacker blitz or a linebacker even, I guarantee you this time AG is going to have a quarterback spy out there. You know, he can afford to have one out there now because, you know, Leslie, he's worried about the secondary giving up chunks of plays, which they're doing anyway. So he doesn't have to worry about. Hopefully, he doesn't have to worry about that. Hopefully, the cornerbacks that we got, the players that we got in the back 4 or 5 there, play up. I'm not worried about Branch. I'm not worried about Kirby. I'm not worried about Carlton Davis.
If this team has a top 10 defense, you are talking number 1 seed, Super Bowl, and champion of the Super Bowl. Because that is the biggest Achilles heel on this team. And really the only Achilles heel it is the youth and the inexperience of playing together. You know, we talked about this on my show, Bstrilla. You have Carlton Davis, who wasn't on this team last year. You have Terry and Arnold, who's a rookie. You have Amik Robinson, who wasn't on this team last year. You have Kirby Joseph, who played decent last year. You have Brian Branch, who's a stud. So you have 2 guys that are returning from this secondary. And you have 3 other guys that you have never played with or they've never played with each other. So there's going to be bumps in the road. Yeah. The good news is that when we play against a Caleb Williams, which we don't play till Thanksgiving, our secondary should be good to go. They should not have any communication issues, and we should be on the same page. But, if the secondary is as good as advertised, we're going to Super Bowl, y'all. There's just the way fans are butts about it because – I would argue if we had a decent secondary, we would already won the Super Bowl or been the Super Bowl.
I loved it. They snatched them. Like Brian Branch is forever that wonderful steal in the 2nd round. Yeah. Like that. I'm so glad
he's the second coming of Eric Weddle. He's the second coming of Eric Weddle because Eric Weddle could do it all. He could play the slot, he could play safety, he could play the box. Brian Branch played the nickel, the star position at Alabama, which basically means he played everywhere. He played the top, he played the bottom, he played the slot.
He was that utility knife for Alabama.
And Brian Branch, now that he's playing safety, can see it all now. And it's so instinctual that he doesn't think about it; he just goes. And
the technical skill that he has. Woo. Yeah. Make sure he stays healthy all season. Don't let that man get hurt, please.
Oh, that's right. Well, that's going to lead us into the prediction part of the show.
Let's go.
So, based on what the conversation that we've had, what is your prediction for the Lions in a division? Where do you think they're going to go as far as division? So go ahead, Rumble.
Man, I hate to say it. I think we lose 1 game. I think we lose 1 game within our division by field goal. I'm gonna go the Bears. I think the Bears. I think they squeak one out at Soldier Field. We know how those elements are out there. Hopefully, it's not the Thanksgiving game. I'm not trying to jinx us, but I think the Bears. I just got a very bad feeling about that team.
That was good. That was good.
I think they get us once. You know, whether it be by field goal or it's gonna. Yeah, I think. That's going to be the Super Bowl. Oh my God, we beat the Lions, and then went
just like the Packers last year. Oh, we beat the Lions.
Yeah. I think as far as the Pack goes, I think we're ready for them because we look at them as an immediate threat. Not that we don't look at the other teams as immediate threat, but how they got so much love for that Dallas win. Where if we would have played Dallas again, that would have been us. We'd have been out there, sweeping the star with their jerseys. So yeah, I absolutely think we go. Yeah, I think one loss.
So you 5-1, 5-1. You say?
I'm 5-1, man. Yep.
Okay.
But we still get the division though.
And a lovely Marissa, what would you say their division record is going to be this year?
Did you say me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna get bold with it. We sweeping everybody. Break out the brooms. Go to your nearest hardware store and get yourself 3 sets of brooms, because we sweeping every dang body. The chip on our shoulder from last season to this season is massively huge. There's going to be a few close games. I agree with Uncle Rumble as far as the Bears is concerned. I think that it's going to be closer than the experts think when it gets to the Thanksgiving game for sure, because we're going to see what Caleb Williams in that squad is all about. But make no mistake about it, gentlemen, we not scared in this goddamn division. We're not. We're not at all. You gave Jordan Love the bag, and that's wonderful. And Rashad Gary and that defense is just absolutely spectacular on the Cheeseheads. Wonderful. That's great. That's fantastic. This is Dan Campbell's crew. This is Coach Aaron Glenn. This is Coach Dan Johnson. This is all of the squad that we have. We are ready to run it back, because the sour, horrible taste that we had in our mouths of how the postseason ended, we knew doggone well we should have been in it. We should be still throwing confetti on the show from us rolling around in it, because we should be bragging about that we should have won the Super Bowl. But if was a fifth, we all be drunk right now. So we now in this season, and we're going to sweep all 3 teams this season. Again, there will be some close games. The Vikings, I'm not worried about. I'm really not, because they have a question mark in their identity right now. The Bears is going to be close on Thanksgiving. I think that we're not scared to go on the road. Obviously, we saw that last season when we went to, and I've been to the Kansas City Chiefs Stadium. It is loud. It is massive.
Loudest stadium in the league.
It is one of the loudest outdoor stadiums ever. I have, sat there when it was the Tim Tebow days, when he was there at Denver playing at Kansas City. This is a whole different identity with this team. The swagger is different. The confidence has gone up a level. We don't now put number 97 as one of the coaches now, or not coaches, I'm sorry, as captain. Now, Aiden Hutchinson is now, a captain, part of the crew of captains for this team. So, the whole aura of the Detroit Lions and the identity is that we just hear, and I'll take it from the first season of what Coach Campbell said. Yes, people, it is kneecap season. Kneecap, femur, kicking tail, taking names, writing it on the chalkboard, and we moving on to the next.
Campbell's kick-ass soup.
Period.
Right for it.
It's too spicy for you to consume, but us fans are going to digest it for you, because that was what we're all about. We running tables in the division. They go undefeated. We win the NFC North.
What you got, Nate?
Mission gangster, folks.
That's right.
That's like a drop the mic moment. It's kind of hard to go against. I'll just say this. I kind of gave my little soliloquy and said that we're gonna sweep the division, but I'm gonna add this: we're built for it, and if we want to get to where we want to get, and that is the Super Bowl in New Orleans and win it,
talk to him, Nate.
Got to take care of the division. That's it.
Amen. Talk to him, Nate. Let that marinate in everybody's spirit. I know that's right.
Yeah.
Well,
let it cook. Let it cook.
Let it cook.
I can't.
Go ahead.
I can't
Bstrilla.
follow any of that. I can't follow any of that. I can't even be a realist. You know what I'm saying? We got to go 6. We got to go 6-0 in our division. We just got to. I mean,
we do.
You figure if we take care of all the home games, that's 9, and then we win 6. 6 of the division games. That's 12 wins right there. We're already there, right?
Yep.
So we can afford to lose a couple on the road.
Nope, don't you do it.
But we're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that.
I'm not going to say we're going to go.
There'll be a couple of tests, non-division tests on the road. Again, like I said, the Houston Texans is going to be interesting to see.
That's going to be a good game.
That's going to be a really good game. us going and running it back to the NFC Championship with the 49ers.
Even better.
You know,
that's
going to be a good one.
We better beat their ass.
I mean, we need to go in there with the level of pissosity of pissidom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how we let
Are we doing season predictions?
Man.
Listen, I'm honored. I'm honored that you booked me on this show. Thank you.
I love your energy. I love your energy.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
As far as the next prediction is, so what is going to be the Lions' record?
I'll go last.
I'll go second to last. Go, Uncle Rubble.
Oh man, I've already answered this question. I had him going. What did I say? 15 wins.
15-2.
15-2. I had him going 15-2. And
Who are
to
your two
Marissa's
losses?
point, one of those teams is one of those out of division teams who we're not very familiar with. Could be, like Texans, or one of them teams we're not really familiar with, but we know that team they're gonna give us everything we can handle. You know what I mean? And then obviously, I said one of those outside teams.
You gotta say what they are.
Who did I have?
Look at Nate.
Nope. I had us losing one division game, so I'm gonna stick to my guns and say the Bears.
The Bears.
And I said one of those outside teams, one of those off-brand teams. It might be the Texans, or it could be,
the ambiguity in your voice. Let's go.
Yeah, it's just one of those teams who were like, you know what I mean? We don't see them every year. We don't play them every year.
One of those teams.
Just one of those teams.
No, we don't play
one of those teams.
Like the Texans, we don't play them every year, so we don't know how to. You know what I mean? But I think we go 15-2 though. I do see us only losing those two games, but I think we're gonna have the best record in NFC. I will go as far as
you better at 15-2 shit.
Right. I think there's other teams. I think there's other teams in NFC who are gonna have absolute meltdowns in their.
You're talking about
teams.
like the Patriots record where they went 16-0. Like we better be the best record at 15-2.
Well, what was San Fran's record last year?
It wasn't 15-2.
I think they were 12-5 as well.
Yeah, they were 12-5, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I only see us losing 2 games. If I'm being honest, man, I think one within our division, Chicago, and then
the other team.
A team we don't play, a team we don't have enough tape on. And I'm gonna say like the Texans could be a prime example, because remember last year, look what Baltimore did to us. How much tape do we have on Baltimore? How many times did we play Baltimore prior to that?
Texans do scare me, so we just go with the Texans.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's like one of those teams who we're like, bro, we weren't ready for this. You know what I mean? We weren't ready for this onslaught. We weren't ready for Lamar Jackson last year. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think anybody's ready for Lamar Jackson.
Pittsburgh is. Pittsburgh's always beating them all the time. So
they have athletic ends. They know how to set the
Mahomes
edge.
is ready for him.
We didn't have any secondary then either, and our defensive coordinator was kind of iffy in that part.
He tore us apart. He tore us apart always sideways in that game.
Yeah, yeah.
15-2 though, to answer your question.
Okay, Marissa.
I'm gonna go 15-2. The Texans is going to be one of those teams because they're loaded. And loaded on offense. They got Stephon Diggs. I was hoping, and then this is the part that I'm going to have to get over my envy with. I was really hoping that the Lions would end up getting Danielle Hunter, but they did not. And now he's part of their organization.
I was with you.
You know, I get that. It's going to be a reunion of sorts with Jeff Okudah.
Oh, I hope we burn him.
Forgot about
if he's not, he's even out in the field at the time.
Yeah,
barbecue chicken. If he is, throw at him every time.
Hey, Okudah, one time for the one time, man.
One time for the one time. You know, and obviously the success of CJ Stroud and everything else, Tank Dell. I mean, I could go on and on about the offense there. So that one I think is going to be a battle for some reason. I just got them as an L on the board. Again, surprise me. I would love to get away with a win on the road for the Texans. And then at home, I got a feeling, I hate saying this because we haven't we had them at home and didn't do anything. We tried, but we were close and we lost in a close one. Is the Buffalo Bills?
Buffalo,
Yeah. You can't sleep on Buffalo, but then again,
who are they gonna throw the ball to? Exactly.
That
Yeah,
point.
It depends what Deion Coleman does.
That's what I was going to say. If Keon Coleman is that stud as he was in college, because he's all about.
No Diggs, so I'm not worried.
No Diggs, because we're going to see Diggs on the road
or
in
Gabe Davis.
the Texans.
They got rid of him too.
True.
I thought they keep Gabe Davis.
True. I just think that Keon Coleman is going to be one of those ones that's going to be a valuable asset. He's all about the playbook and improving, and he's all about. He doesn't just talk the talk. Like literally, the coaches have been singing his praises in preseason and in practice and OTAs and all that stuff. So,
Josh Allen, the potential's there because he can get the.
It is.
Yeah, MVP.
It is. But this is the season where Josh Allen can't make any excuses about who he is, because I think now we're going to see the true Josh Allen now that he isn't pressured by someone who is upset at him every time the ball is not thrown to him. If that makes sense.
You mean the unhinged, unmobile, or
right? Because
Josh Allen, I'll take.
Stephon Diggs, aka I'm him, aka why didn't you throw the ball to me, aka throws a fit,
aka you ain't digging me,
right? Yeah. Aka I just found my people. Now they're in.
I will take Josh Allen all day. Just let him run.
I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to be like, oh God, that weight is off of my shoulders. I respect the talent of Stephon Diggs. Now I'm going to be that quarterback that the fans should have seen several seasons ago, and I'm not, compartmentalized in a box and forced to throw it to, Diggs. Can y'all utilize whoever's open?
Campbell head up.
Stafford without Calvin. That's what he's going to be.
That's what he's going to be. So I say that, but yeah, I mean, and I will keep saying this, and I'll post it on my socials and all of that. This team is going to run it to New Orleans and be prepared to be sick of us. All of this is going to come to pass. Not if, when. I don't do no if.
We're manifesting.
I've been manifesting since.
It's already been manifested. It's here now. It's just time to embrace it.
It's done. It's already done. 15 and 2.
Cooked, it's been ready. It's done. Let's go.
I'm already looking around the rooms and all this stuff right now, seeing what I'm going to sell to get Super Bowl tickets. Like that is our.
There you go.
I might not be able to go to Super Bowl, but I will be in New Orleans. That's for damn sure.
I will be in New Orleans. Some local bar. I have a.
I was this close to being in Vegas. I really wanted to be in Vegas so bad. I was like, man, the Lions went there in Vegas. Oh man, I'll be there. Yeah. All right. So, first off, I want to say this. I have not heard anybody say 15 and 2. I have been the only cheese that stands alone that said 15 and 2 and sweeping the North. So, yes, we're going to go 15 and 2. We're going to be the number 1 seed. We're going to sweep the North. And on top of that,
go say it. Say it with your chest.
I just lost my track of thought. I was hyping myself up too much.
Yeah, you hyped me up too. I was like, wait.
We're going to the Super Bowl.
All right.
My 2 losses. I'm sorry, that was my 2 losses are the Cowboys because it's Jerry's world and he will pay the refs to screw us over. He'll pay the refs.
And Marissa was liking you, Nate, and you just messed up. I know.
No. They're gonna pay the refs to screw us over because Dallas always gets wins by the refs. And Detroit just cannot get a break there. They've been screwed over every time they played in Dallas.
And how did we end up getting another road here?
I don't know. Yeah, and then we're going to lose to the Texans.
Saying the same thing.
We're going to lose to the Texans too.
So we're going to get the Texas shuffle.
Loaded.
We're going to get the Texas boot shuffle.
I don't like those 2 games. Like the fact we have to go back to Dallas where we got our.
Ain't nobody scared of the Cowboys.
And then
but that's after a bye week.
Yeah, after a bye week, exactly. And then the Texans, that one's a tough one. They're loaded. They're talented. They're going to give the Chiefs a run for their Monday. I love that shirt. But those are my only 2 losses.
That'll be this Monday. That will be this Monday. We'll be 1-0. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
I got over everybody.
Uh-oh.
What you got?
Lions are going 16-1.
Let's go, baby.
Now I'm looking at the whole schedule, and I'm looking.
Man,
at
everybody's thinking we're
what the
like
Lions
drinking
could be.
Kool-Aid here.
16-1. They're only going to lose to Houston, and it ain't going to be by a bunch. It's going to be a field goal game.
Okay.
That's the game they're going to lose. But you know what? That's in the middle of the season. That's week 10. That builds character. Lions got to at least lose one. Got to be in that loss category so they can feel what it's like to lose, so they don't get so confident, in themselves. They can keep grinding it out. So when they get to the playoffs and they get to the Super Bowl, which is going to be my next ask of predictions, that if they meet those same Houston Texans, they got them this time.
Oh, yeah, we got your number.
Yeah.
We got your number.
So that's going to be leading to my next one. Who you got in the Super Bowl?
Last.
Again, we keep talking about them damn Texans. I'm gonna go Lions, Texans.
That'd
And
be good.
we
First
win.
time first for every team. That'd be nice.
Mhm.
Yep. And I think it's just
who's going to win it, and who's your
34.
MVP?
I'm gonna go 34-20. MVP. I'm gonna go storybook ending here. I'm gonna go JG, Jared Goff.
Let's
I
go.
think he wins the MVP. Efficient. We know Jared Goff's very efficient. I say he goes like 24 of 20 or 21 of 24, 350.
I love
Just
that.
freaking
I love that.
balls out.
I love
And
it.
it's
No
just
interceptions. Say it.
no interceptions.
Let's
Just
go.
21 of 24. He puts on like a Brady-esque performance.
My
like
God.
people are like, whoa.
He writes his own
where
book.
was
He
this-
writes his own book.
Right. People are like, whoa, that ain't the same guy that was in the Rams.
That was the one that y'all cast aside. Talk about it, Uncle
Yeah.
Hogan. Go ahead.
Yes. So yeah, that's my ultimate. I
We
had a
will
dream
troll
about
the
that
hell out of
last
Sean
night, man.
McVay after he wins it.
Yeah, I had a dream about that last night. But yeah, that would be incredible, man.
All right, Marissa, what do you
My
got?
ultimate dream would be nothing more than the Texans and Lions, but I got a feeling in the pit of my soul that Baltimore is somehow going to show up.
Hope not.
I got a feeling they're going to show up. And here's the thing. Here's why. Because you have the mastermind himself of the other brother Harbaugh,
The Harbaugh.
who they were close. They were so close. And then they got just some fluke with injuries, and it just all fell apart and everything else. And people are not talking about the talent that's sitting there at Baltimore a whole lot. I'm not seeing it on a lot of media shows. Everybody,
Derrick Henry.
there you go. Ding, 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 ding,
I'm glad they
ding.
play over there.
Ladies
Glad
and
they do
gentlemen,
that.
just
That's a
because
scary 1-2 option right there. I did
this
not
is
wanna go in that
why
deep
when we
one.
have the Titans on our schedule, they don't have Derrick Henry on there. And they're playing at God's Kingdom, aka Ford Field. Okay. So, but he is on Baltimore side. So that would be a pinnacle, incredible matchup. Because I thought about this before this, the leading up to the season on who we're going to play in the Super Bowl.
Talk about a revenge game. That would be a huge revenge game for us because they whooped the crap out of us last time, and it would be personal for us.
Child, and another thing, they doggone kicker mother friggin' don't miss.
Yeah, Tuck. Mother Tuck.
So that's going to
Yeah,
be the Bates versus Tucker Super Bowl. Huh?
You know what?
Mother
I'll
Tuck.
take Bates with the Legatron. I'll take it.
I'll take Legatron all day long. You know, Tucker is getting up there, but his leg is still rock solid. And side note on Tucker, Tucker's going to be the one that shatters that glass ceiling to get kickers into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
He's been missing some kicks lately, but yeah, he's accurate as it comes.
Side note, Jason Hansen should already be in the Hall of Fame, but
He
you know.
should. I concur. Absolutely.
Picture this in your Super Bowl, Marissa.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tie game. Baltimore has the ball. They fall short. They're 63 yards away from a field goal. Justin Tucker kicks it, makes it. Okay, so they're up by 3.
That's PTSD from
Well,
that game.
We're going to offset the score. Okay, so they're going to be up. It's going to be like 21-20, and they kick a field goal. It's going to be 23-20. 21. Okay, so then the Lions come back down the field. They fall short, but it's a 64-yard field goal, and Bates nails it. to win the game.
I lose my mind.
Okay.
I lose my mind.
That would be history in
here.
the NFL too.
If
he
Bates
gets that.
does that in the Super Bowl, you got to put his statue up there.
Here's the thing.
Put him up there with Campbell.
Here's what I would love to happen. That ends up happening, or a scenario close to it, and all that. He wins it for us. Please tell me that y'all gonna go live, because it needs to happen right after the fact.
You can. I won't stop going live. I'll drink on air, and I'll probably be like drunk history and just start talking belligerent junk. Like
I think I would
4
be
hours
alive.
later,
It'll be like the game of pass
are.
out, but you'll be on every time you get on live. You gotta take a drink.
I will sleep. I'm telling you, if the Lions win the Super Bowl, I will go off grid for a month. I swear to God.
Yeah, I think I would be alive.
You remember when Alex Ovechkin won the Stanley Cup and they went out and did all this debauchery for like a month or 2 weeks or whatever it was?
I'm not going into work. I'm not going into work.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna have to understand why.
Yeah,
Don't call me.
Michigan will be shut down for like a whole month. Like you'll have to get food somewhere else or whatever. Nobody's gonna.
I promise you, every pothole will be fixed.
Every pothole, every street light.
94.
All right, Bstrilla, are you gonna go and then I'll go?
There you
Or
go.
did you already
Go
give
ahead.
yours? No, I'll let
No,
you go.
ahead. Let me. Why you want to go last? Now you want to go last.
I want to set it. Let you go, bro. Go for it.
Oh, so I got Houston and Detroit in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Detroit's going to win that game again by a field goal. Because, like I said, the game that they lose during the regular season is going to be by a field goal. So they're going to win this one by a field goal. And it's going to be a long field goal. A Bates, anywhere from a 58 to a 63 or 4-yard field goal will win the game for him.
And he's going to be the MVP?
No, he's not going to be the MVP.
Oh.
The MVP is going to be an odd one.
Ooh.
For you.
Aiden.
It's going to be Brian Branch.
Ooh, I like it.
Ooh, David
Branch.
Tyree type deal. Okay.
Yeah,
he's going to pick off Stroud at the end zone, right? And take it 100 yards.
The old, he's going to be the my man Brown for Dallas when he won the MVP. Remember, he got those 4 interceptions? That's what it's going to be. Except he ain't going to get 4. He's going to get about 2 interceptions. He's going to get 2 interceptions, and he's going to cause a couple of turnovers by hits.
Forced fumbles? Yeah, I can see
forced
that.
Fumbles.
Okay.
And, yeah, he's going to be your player of the game. I like that one.
I like that.
All right. So, first off, real quick on that note, the Patriots started their dynasty in New Orleans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was done by a kick by Adam Vinatieri. So I like that. Comparison. So that's right there, a sign that it's our time. All right, it's an easy one. KC versus Detroit, and I'll tell you why. Because if there is anything that I would love more, is to take out the 2-time champions that are trying to go 3. Not today, Satan. Detroit, the 3-1-3, and Eminem have said, it's our time. It's our house. We will win. We will pull an Eli Manning and shut that dynasty down and start our dynasty in New Orleans, just like the Patriots did. And our MVP will be nothing but Amon-Ra, the sun god, St. Brown. And on top of that, he will have the record for the most receiving yards in a game. And he will rewrite the record book, and everybody will now put that man as the number 1 receiver in the NFL and give him the respect he freaking deserves.
And the next year, he'll be number 1 in your fantasy football draft.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. So one more prediction. Who is going to be overall NFL MVP next year?
Mm-hmm. And so overall?
Overall.
I'll go last.
I'm thinking. I think I'm a homer. I think I'm going to go with the Detroit Lion. You know what? I'm going to represent JG again. I'm going to go Jared Goff. I think he has the weapons. I think he has enough confidence in this O-line and the receivers.
Should have won
And I
last
think
year.
Ben Johnson, I think him and Ben Johnson have that moment where they finally are vested in one another and they're ready to just show everyone why the 3-1-3 is, you know, I think we're going to be putting up 40-point games this year. I think we're going to have a high octane offense.
And hopefully the other team scoring less than 20.
Yeah. So I'm going to go JG. And not because he's going to have, I think he's just going to have one of the most efficient football seasons we've seen out of a quarterback. I think he's going to, I really do, man. I think he's going to be very smart. We put it this way: he won't be the reason we lose any games. I think his interceptions weren't bad last year. He just had moments where he was like uncertain where to go with the ball and just kind of threw it. But I think this year we're going to see a Jared Goff we haven't seen.
A lot of that had to do with his line. He didn't trust the line in the interior,
exactly.
When they had injuries, he had happy feet.
And then the run game again with, you know, he had some. I mean, let's take away your favorite chair out of your house. You know what I mean? Like he went without Frank Ragnow for a couple of games, and you could just tell it was you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this year with Graham getting re-signed again, that guy is man, he's as solid as they come, man. He's an on-time bus. You know, every hour on the hour it's going to be there. But yeah, I think JG is going to. I think he wins MVP. I got long-winded. I apologize.
It's all right. Who's next?
Ladies first.
Oh, listen, man. You know, the list for the NFL top 100, where you have their peers voting them as number one. For the first time, we saw that a non-QB got the number one spot, which was wide receiver Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is going to be so as far as the MVP is concerned. And I love your explanation, Uncle Rumble, when it came to about Jared Goff. But I got a feeling that it's going to be going to a non-QB. And it's something that's very rare in the NFL because we give it to the player that, you know, kind of leads and orchestrates the team, which is the QB. And it turns kind of in a way where I compare it to the Heisman, where, you know, you rarely see anybody, if they're not a QB, win the award. And it's always been like QBs with sprinkles of, you know, a possible, you know, running back or a wide receiver, or, you know, the great Charles Woodson, who was the first DB.
It's called the Quaisman. It's called the Quaisman.
Quarterbacks. Pretty much is what it is. And so this award for MVP is starting to turn that way. And
we're big teller, you're just building this up. Let's go.
I'm building it up. I'm building it up. Because I agree. I want to say Jared Goff, but MVP is y'all don't laugh at me.
I mean, we
Just
got Barry.
go. Hey, say it with your chest, like you said. Say it with your chest.
Right.
Say it with your
You're right.
You that mission gangster.
Well, you're right. I got a feeling that Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to go off.
Oof.
Ooh,
I like that.
He's going to break Calvin Johnson's record, because if he's going to win the MVP,
I like it.
He's going to have to shatter Calvin Johnson's record.
That's what I had in mind, and that's what I was trying to build up, leading up to. After CV, if you all have not seen the Netflix special Receivers, I highly suggest you do, because it will give you a whole different perspective on St. Brown and what he's all about and the work ethic that he has.
Yeah.
I really think that entire work ethic that he has, plus the payday that he received, he's going to produce the results that is going to shock a lot of people, and it's going to be out of this world. And people are going to have to talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown and the production that he's going to give the Lions. And so that's my bold MVP prediction.
I like it,
would be
Marisa.
great.
All right.
Also catch him on the St. Browns too.
Yes.
There's one episode he had with his brother where his brother was crying because the Lions wouldn't sign him, and when he was a free agent, New Orleans picked him up, and he's on their practice squad now. But he and really kind of Amon was kind of being nice and being truthful at the same time to him. You can see him struggling with it a little bit, but he was like, dude, I'll try for you, but we're about to grit here. He's like, we're about to grit here. So, he's telling us, Don, you okay, you my brother and you my bro and everything, but
I don't want you anywhere on my team.
Not here, bro. Not here, because you ain't gonna fit in here because you couldn't even stay with Green Bay. So and Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they had no receivers at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was such a political answer that he gave without making his brother feel bad as hell, but kind of showing him you ain't the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only St. Brown on this team.
Right.
You know what's funny about St. Brown? If you watch The Receiver, which I definitely recommend doing if you haven't, he's his daddy.
Oh, yeah.
Because his daddy is no nonsense. He's straight to the point. He's honest with his boys. He tells them what's up. Like, I remember the game after they beat the Bears, and he literally said, y'all should have won that game, or y'all should have lost that game. You should not be excited about that win at all because y'all should have won that game.
Puts them down to reality real quick.
Exactly, yeah. But he puts them in their place, and I respect that because he tells them straight how it is. He's not going to sugarcoat it, and that's what St. Brown is like. When you watch him in his interviews, when you watch him on his podcast, he's straight. He's straight honest, man. Hey, I wanted to be a Packer, but you know what? The hell with the Whackers. I'm a Lion, and I'm gonna embrace it. Like, hey, let's go.
Another show you should watch too is when he did the pivot. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
that was a great interview.
I like it. He was dogging everybody on it.
Oh yeah.
You covered.
He's got.
I'll run by you, man.
Just like
he has the list of receivers that went before him.
And he's got a trail right there too.
And he knew exactly what round, who it was, and what team they went on before he was selected by Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't tell you that is somebody that is ready to run it through a wall and then some this season, I don't know what else to say. That's why he's one of my picks.
The guy catches
for MVP
balls a day. That's all you need to know. 200 balls a day. How many receivers actually honestly do that?
202.
202.
Because the first guy did 201, so he said, "I'm doing 202."
That's raw for you, man. He's got to do one better. That's what his daddy told him. Be one better.
And I think that's why Jameson is going to be one of those guys that flourishes from him.
What a better way to be mentored by a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4th round pick that's got all the way up to stardom.
Any of those receivers,
but hard work
that we have on our team, any of those receivers. That's why I say, a lot of people are making a big deal about the receivers in the offseason. I said, look, you have one of the best receivers in the league on your team that goes out and busts a behind is the definition of grit.
Right.
He'll go out there 202. He'll let you know. He knows every receiver that was picked up. The dude's got a chip on his shoulder on top of it. How could you not want to go out there and practice with that guy? How could you not want to get yourself better so you can
shows
be
if
like
he
him
did
so
it,
you
you
can
can
get the team
do it.
better?
Right.
And so all these other receivers on this team that got cut deserve to get cut. That's how I feel. Because you got one of the greatest receivers that's got that grit, that is the mentality of this team. He is the superstar of this team. If you don't go out there and put on what he puts on every day, you don't belong on the team.
Iron sharpens iron. We hear that all the time.
Exactly.
Iron sharpens iron. If you can want to be sharpened, get the hell out.
So I think that's why we had Isaiah Williams on this receiving roster, because he has that. Wiz Khalifa, that's my boy. I call him Wiz Khalifa. He's the guy too. And all Jameson, look, all of them are a pack.
He cut them dreads shorter. He ready to go.
There's a new rat
and
pack.
It starts with a head wolf, and that is Amon-Ra St. Brown. And everybody else follows.
Yep. And that's why I said, you guys worry about all these receivers on here. The Lions did a good job of what they did with the receiving core, as far as I'm concerned. They kept the head of the pack. That's what they did.
They did what they could, and that's all they can do.
Everybody didn't step up to those measurements for them. You got to go.
That's why they're on the practice squad.
They can make all the, Dan Campbell can get up and give you a presser and be nice about everything, because that's his job. He don't want to break confidence of players that they don't have anymore, so they can go out there and do their thing, because you don't want to do that. Yeah. But at the same time, he knows he's out there on the field with them.
He was very transparent in his pressers about the receiving core. He basically didn't say it exactly.
Yeah, well, he did say somebody got to step the hell up.
Yeah.
To be the wide receiver for somebody got to step up. If they don't want to step up, then we're just going to have to go and find somebody.
And Brad Holmes even admitted that Antoine Greed was their wide receiver 3. That guy got hurt.
Because he
straight up just said Antoine Greed was our dude. Like we thought he was going to be the guy, and then he got hurt. So that literally just slapped to DPJ's face or whoever else was like, hey, you weren't even in the thought process. We thought Antoine Greed was going to be the dude, and hey, shit happens. He got hurt. So, hey, nobody stepped up.
So anyway, that leads me to my MVP. And Rumble, I'm going to be agreeance with you. I think it is going to be Jared Goff, because he is going to show something. I think there's going to be some ups and downs this season, even though I have him going at 16-1. But they're going to be in some games that they're going to have to fight out of. A few games. I'm not saying every one of them, because I do imagine they're going to be putting 35, 40-point burger on somebody every Sunday. But there's going to be games that they're going to be like Green Bay is going to be a game. I mean, their division games outside of Minnesota are going to be tough ones to me. Mm-hmm. And he's going to have that grit to go over and above what he needs to get done. He's going to remember his mistakes that he made last year. I'm going to tell you something right now. If they handle, and I mean handle, Seattle this year, and he throws no pick sixes, and he throws no interceptions, that's my automatic MVP. I'm telling you right there. He's MVP right there, because that's adversity that you were the one that basically in both of those Seattle games, you gave up a pick six, which the defense never recovered from. The Lions never recovered from. They said, well, he had a chance to do. No, that deflates your offense and your defense when you throw a pick six. Okay, throwing crazy balls like that. He did that against Philadelphia when we first played Philadelphia too. That was a difference in the game to me.
It's kind of like because
the defense has gotten your head.
McAllister tradition, man. They leave Kevin at home. He throws pick six every year. This is one thing you can count on with Jared Goff.
Right.
But like I said, if he gets through this game and beats them convincingly, as a team beats them convincingly, and he doesn't throw any interceptions, I'm automatically going right there. MVP automatically in that game. From that game forward, I don't care if he goes somewhere and fumbles 3 times, throws 6 interceptions.
Let's not turn over the ball. Let's keep it clean.
Right.
The Lions will be champions if he keeps the ball with us.
100% agree.
All right. So, do y'all remember? It was like maybe I think a month or two ago. Amara came out and told a certain player, if you hit a certain mark, I'll give you whatever you want.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yes.
Jahmyr Gibbs. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, in that note, I told you that this team is going to be 15-2, and they're going to win the NFC. So, automatically, who's going to be the catalyst outside of Amara St. Brown, outside of Jared Goff? And let's be real, that these MVPs are sexy picks. They're not the hard-nosed, well-deserved players that they should be. It's the sexy picks. It's who looks good and who's gonna be the talk of the town.
Right.
Well, I'm here to tell you, it's gonna be Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs will have 1,000+ yards rushing this year, over 10 touchdowns. Over 1,000 yards receiving.
What?
He's going to have over 2,000+ purpose yards. And he will be your MVP for your 2024 Detroit Lions.
See, he had me when he said JG. I thought he was leaning towards Jared Goff, but
I wanted
JG.
I wanted to say JG, but y'all both said JG. So I was like, you know what? Who's more capable that I think would automatically, if he did those numbers, like I said, and they're not out of realm. They're not. If you're talking about the Lions being the number 1 seed, which anyone's the number 1 seed, your players are automatically the top for MVP votes. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right.
Okay. So who's the most sexiest player on this team that everybody just drools over about? Jahmyr Gibbs. Like after that Raiders game, I went on record and said, the world will talk about Jahmyr Gibbs after that game. And sure enough, after that game, you haven't heard less about Jahmyr Gibbs at all. It's been all Jahmyr Gibbs. Everything goes to Jahmyr Gibbs. Well, Gibbs can do this. He will be the MVP because that is a hard feat to do. To have over 1,000, let's say 1,500 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns, and 1,000 yards receiving, you're talking about 2,500 all-purpose yards and 10 touchdowns. How is that not the MVP for a 15-2 team and the number 1 in the NFC?
A man better get his checkbook out.
He's got the dollars to write it.
Right, exactly.
Because he's talking about buying a house. He said, "Yep, I might buy me a house with that."
Hey, if he does that, make it a Super Bowl. Write your check, bro.
Whatever if he does that,
whatever you want, bro. Whatever you want.
He does that. Taking the checks, they're going to be writing their check to the Super Bowl with that. You get 1,500 yards rushing and 1,000. Man, that means everything is going right for the Lions. Everything.
The Gordie Howe Bridge and the John R. Road and Jahmyr Gibbs Lane. It's going to be down.
Jahmyr Gibbs Freeway.
When you're talking, I mean, here's the thing is that when you talk about this team in such a category where you're talking about 15-2, your predictions have to match what you say.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, and if you want to reach for the stars, well, hell, keep going. You know, like don't lower yourself. If you're going to go that high, stay that high.
Right.
You know, and if you don't hit the sun, you might land on the moon, you know?
I like that. All right, real quick, last predictions. That was a good one, yeah, Nate. Good job. Yeah. Last predictions. Who's winning Sunday's game? Like I have to ask this.
Cut that out.
Let me make this harder. Let me make this harder. How much? I'm sure everybody's gonna say Detroit, but how much are we gonna win by? That's the question I ask.
Yeah.
I say 21. I think this is a good game for Jared Goff, this team, and Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson, talk about him being the next, head coach. I feel like Sean McVay is kind of jaded. Like, who is this kid? I'm Sean McVay. I've already went to the big dance, not once but twice, with this guy and with this guy.
I want to agree with this guy.
Exactly. And so it's a lot of.
You're not doing Rick James out now, right? I'm Sean McVay, bitch.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not doing. You're not doing that. No,
I mean,
come on.
Goff told us. That was his ego. But anyways, allegedly. But anyways, yeah, I think we went by 3 scores. I think
Puka. I don't think it's gonna be close at all. Wow.
Nope. I think Puka. Ford Field is ready, man. It's Tuesday. I thought it was Friday, but no, it's not.
We've been ready since that last game in San Francisco. Yeah. I think every Lions fan took a deep
every
breath.
Every day this week is Friday.
Every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We smell blood in the water and we're ready to go.
And I think we might even see Hendon Hooker. I think it gets out of hand that easily, that quickly. I think Hendon gets in there for like 8 minutes of the fourth quarter. Right. I think we're.
I like that.
My thunder.
Yeah.
Rumble with the rumble.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Nate, Marissa.
Go, Nate.
All right, I'll go this time. I'm going to say 31-17. I do think that, like, with this game, like, the reality is neither team played in the preseason, their starters.
Mm-hmm.
So, really, the only tape each team has to go about was the playoffs last year, and there's still a lot of new pieces that each team has. So, I'm going to say I think the defense struggles a little bit just because of the communications and just the nuances of the new players and all that playing together. So I think it's going to be 31-17. I think that the Lions, I think it's a close game early on just because every team's filling each other out. But I think once the second half comes, the Lions wake up and say, hey, this is our time. and they just shove it down their throat, and they don't see the light of day for the Rams.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I agree with you.
The script of the game, right?
No, I do. I agree with you. I think these teams start off slow because, again, we didn't see, our original starters. We didn't see Jared Goff in the preseason. It's,
Right.
a majority of the team that's going to be starting. Do we have full confidence in them? Yes. But I think it's going to be one of those ones where everybody is so doggone amped that we're going to see, unfortunately, some uncharacteristic mistakes that is going to take place on both sides of the field. And then also, the stripes like to throw a flag or two with the, little Lions emblem embroidered on every single yellow flag, because it does happen. You all know that. So, we're going to get some silly calls, if you will, that is going to happen. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a W for the Lions. I'm going to go... I'm going to go 31-17. I think it's going to be 31-17 us. I think everybody's going to really buy in and hone into, again, Amon-Ra's talent. But more so, I think the catalyst of the whole entire thing is going to be Mr. Oates. He's going to be utilized a lot for some field goals. We're going to get to the red zone several times in the first half, and then it's going to be frustrating because we should have punched it in. But our kicker, you know how it is. But our kicker is going to connect, and then after halftime and all that, and everybody settled down, and then we'll get into the swing of things. We'll get into our game. Jared Goff will be Jared Goff. The defense is going to play out of its mind. No offense to John Matthew Stafford whatsoever, but thanks for coming. Pick up your bags where they are and hold this L.
We'll see you
that's
when you
exactly
retire.
what's going to happen. Yeah. I mean, I got love for John Matthew Stafford. The years that he was with us, again, the Boo Birds are going to come out because that's how we are. If you're not in the same uniform and not same colors as us, there it is.
I'll give him his flowers.
I'll give him his flowers when he retires, and I'll give him his flowers when he gets into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, because he will get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yeah. I will be there. I have a Stafford T-shirt. I will break that out for that special occasion. Other than that,
well, then he's the enemy.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So now that you guys got your little scores out the way, give you mine.
Little scores.
So I agree with the majority of the panel.
You're gonna go with a shutout, aren't you?
When they come out, it's gonna be a lot of excitement. Both teams feeling each other out. So it's gonna be a close game in the first half. Then the second half comes.
Oh God!
And that's when the weaknesses of LA is going to show. Their defense is young. They've already lost. They've lost a starting linebacker. They've lost a starting cornerback for their season. They're still feeling their way through there. The Lions are going to roughshod that whole defense in the second half.
We built for this.
And this is something that we didn't have too much time saying last year. But in the third quarter, it's going to be fireworks. Ben Johnson is going to finally get his flowers for the third quarter. Okay? Kick his ass, Seabass. Listen to this. And they're going to go in the locker room, and Dan Campbell's going to give one of those run through the wall speeches again. Like, hey, they ain't got no offensive line, right? Because 3 or 5 of them are not there playing. They're all injured. What's going on here, defensive line? That's what you're going to see in the second half. My prediction is it's going to be 14-14 at halftime. After that, Rams ain't scoring. They're not going to score one single point. Lions are going to put up 24 points in the second half to win 38-14.
I will take that. I will take that to the bank.
Yeah.
And to kick his field goal. Go ahead and get your field goal. It's going to be on one of those fourth downs that everybody thinks that he's going to go for. DC's going to go for it. DC's going to no, send Bates out there and let him kick that little 45-yard field goal for us. I mean, he'll work.
And you brought up a great point that I really want to see with this Lions team is the adjustments in the second half. Because here's the thing. If the Lions want to do what they want to do, they have to be able to execute in that third quarter. And when I say execute, I mean run the damn ball down their throats. If you've got a 10-point lead or you got a 14-point lead, run the dang ball. Because that's how winning teams close out games. Is you run the ball, and then when you finally they hone in on the run, then you pass the ball. You keep them off kilter with with how they play defense.
Yep.
And that's what the Lions need to do. They need to come out and be as aggressive as they start all the way through the game, because these teams are all going to give us our best shot. And we have to be able to win in 4 quarters.
What's the over under? How many times you guys think Dan Campbell's going to go for it? Just
4.
4? Just 4?
I think 4 is a generous number. I mean,
you know what? I think he's going to go for it as many times as he did in the playoff game. Once.
Ooh, you think he's going to go once? I don't know, man. Sunday Night Football, live TV.
No, he's not going to put that. That's not DC. He won't put that ego in front of him like that. He knows he's got a bait. He's going to showcase baits. That's what he's going to do.
I thought you meant the Lions fire alarm. Yeah. We on fire. I'm sweating right now just talking. Got to cool down.
So, yeah.
I mean, it's going to come down to X's and O's. And, the reality is that if this secondary is as good as it says it is, then it's not going to be an issue. But if this secondary comes out and struggles, you've got all pros in Puka. You've got guys in Cup. You've got who's that receiver at Tutu? You got Tutu out there who burned us last year in the playoffs. I mean, they got a lot of weapons, man. So that secondary has got to be on their P's and Q's as best as possible. And that's what worries me about this game more than anything is that if our secondary struggles, Stafford will expose us.
I don't think he's going to have
knows
time.
How to do it.
I don't think he's going to have time to.
I think the thing that's going to work against that prophecy, though, is the fact that they're home the first 2 games. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing more than a crowd that energizes the defense. The defense really is the one that gets more energized from the crowd than the offense does, because the offense already knows what they're putting out there. The defense is the one that's like, you know what? We got to punch them in the mouth. Let's go punch them in the mouth. That's what. No, I think that's the reason why. I think that's the reason why I have more faith in the first 2 games. They're going to win those automatically because they're going to be the secondary. All the defense in general is going to work like they're going to have a slow start in the first game, obviously, because they got to feel the process out. Yeah. But then once they get their feet in the mud, I think it's going to be over from that.
I'm kind of surprised that the NFL put 2 playoff rematches as the first 2 games for the Lions. It's almost like they just either want the Lions to fall on their face or they want to keep building them up because they're such a hot commodity right now and they want to get them the early start. Because if you look at the record for the first 5 games, they're all winnable games. Like the Lions literally could be 5-0 at some point at the beginning of the season, because if, like I said, if the Lions expect to do what they want to do, they got to beat the teams that they're expected to beat. And I see them favored in almost every game leading up to the Packers. And then they might even be favored for the Packers too, but so I just think that's interesting because I think both games are going to be very hard fought and very grueling and very physical, and God willing, we can come out healthy, because if we can come out unscathed in those 2 games, we're battle tested. The revenge tour is on, and you're talking about a train that is unstoppable going forward, because okay, you wanted to let us play the Rams again? Okay, we beat them. We're good. Okay, you want to bring Baker Mayfield into Detroit? Okay, we beat them. We're good. And then we go to the Cardinals and I think the Seahawks or wherever else we play. Like, the train's running. Like, I don't see us derailing anytime soon. That's why I think 15-2 or 14 or 13 wins is definitely doable, because we're just looking at the schedule. And the Lions have gotten to the point where we're so good that it's when you look at the schedule like I did, we can beat all these teams. I mean, hell, even Vegas thinks we can win these games because, they have a favorite in almost every game except for maybe like 2.
Mhm.
So if they believe it, why don't we believe it? And so, yeah, I think these first 2 games are going to be very telling for the Lions, because they're going to be 2 teams that want revenge, that are going to come in and give us their best shot. And secondary for sure is going to be tested right off the bat.
You got to think of it this way. And like I said, the bye week, a lot of people are complaining about the bye week being really early.
Yeah.
But you got to look at it like this. Lions got 9 home games.
Mm-hmm.
3 of the 4 games that they have, 2 of those are primetime games. One's on Sunday night, and one's on Monday night. That's the Seattle game. Then they have a bye week, which is perfect setup to go to Dallas and beat them because they need that extra. They need that extra.
Right.
So yeah, the extra. Sorry, we lost Marisa to her fire alarm incident.
Marisa, thank you so much.
We appreciate you, Marisa.
Hope everything's okay.
We'll be back anytime. Basically, though, on that note, we do have to wrap this up. It's been great. Once again on this show. Nate, thank you very much for showing up.
Thank you so much.
Marisa, again.
Hey, man, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Both y'all have been wonderful. Y'all were really good. It was exciting to be on here with both y'all.
Yeah.
It was really
man.
good.
The hype train, man. We're on the hype train. We're ready to go, man.
And just to let our viewers know that we are going through a brand change. And in the next few days, you'll be seeing little bits of interest of what we're going to name our show. And we're still going to be on at the same time, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So everybody look out for that. Write it down. Yep. But we will be under a new name. So look out for that. Like I said, I will put out feelers for that. Also, Rumble will be having a new position on the show because he will be also an administrator. And we'll get him going with that so we can have more Rumble. We need more Rumble. We need more Rumble. Like we say Jared Goff. We're going to be saying Rumble. So from everybody here, and nothing but the smoke. See, I can't even say the damn name now. Nothing but the smoke.
Wait, we got to clip Nate. His pod as well.
Oh yeah, Nate.
We got to give Nate.
Tell us, his podcast.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Me and Jeremy Myrick do the 313 Den podcast. We're going through some changes too. We've just literally launched our own StreamYard channel. We're working on our times and all that. But yeah, we're going to be doing post-game, pre-game shows. Probably a Friday college football / NFL prediction show. So yeah, a lot of good things happening. We love having y'all on. Jeremy couldn't be on tonight. He had some stuff to take care of, but hey, we love to have y'all on. And yeah, man, we're all just hungry Lions fans, ready to go. Yeah, we might be a little too overhyped, but you know what? It's the Lions.
When can you ever say that?
Exactly. If you've been a Lions fan your whole life, you've noticed that we've been through hell and back. And damn it, we're gonna enjoy the good times, and we're gonna live it up all the way to New Orleans this season. And so yeah, check out our show 313 Den Podcast. You can search it on our Facebook page. Our shows post there. And yeah, like I said, we'd love to have you all on there for the pregame, post games. We want the excitement, the energy. Marisa is welcome to join too. You guys can send her a link to my show too. But yeah, thank you very much for having me on, and look forward to coming on more, y'all. I have no doubt I can, keep bringing the energy.
That's it.
You guys do. Marisa and you just brought all the energy to this show. This episode.
Big D energy, baby.
I love it. That's what we need every show.
Yes,
now, just keep in mind that this show is going to be featuring the other 31 teams when the season starts. So it's going to be like the Lions first hour and then the other 31 teams the second hour. Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I like to cover the NFL because I like football in general. I love my Lions, but I do love football in general. So we want to, get everybody else involved in here. We'll have other guests that are from our fan bases from other teams that do podcasts for other teams as well.
That'd be cool.
And we'll get in there. We'll be getting them on here as well. So we're bringing new exciting things on here. Probably not exciting as in the sport of podcasting because virtually everybody does the same thing anyway, but
right.
Whatever, it's in the presentation, right?
Hey,
but for Uncle Rumble and Nate, I am Bstrilla the Thriller. Y'all have a good evening. See you next Tuesday at 8.
Go Lions.